Hi, my name is Alex Asher. I am the CEO of LearnCube. And what we do is we provide a virtual classroom and online school software made for language teaching. Now, if you're listening in, I'm here with our sales director, Jay Colliers-Terry, who is going to be not only is our expert on the Online School Lite product, but also is going to be working a lot with you teachers out there that are hopefully listening in and looking for an all-in-one solution to really kickstart your online teaching career and business. So Jay,
Great.
We're into it.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, brilliant. It's first time we've got to talk about this product kind of in a public forum, so that's great.
Yeah.
And I guess let's start with our first question then, Alex, which is, what is LearnCube's Online School Lite product?
We specialize in this virtual classroom made for language teaching, which you can see here.
Yeah.
We have an all-in-one solution, which would be what we call our online school, which has been for these language schools. And so this is including payment gateways, scheduling, user management, all the things that a teaching business would need to be able to succeed online. And we've typically provided this for these larger kind of, or at least small to medium-sized established language schools. And now this is for the individual teacher that wants to go professional, but with all of the advantages, all of those all-in-one solution really for those entrepreneurs. Is that right?
That's right, and it's absolutely in response to the changes in the marketplace that we've seen that mean that we have more teachers looking for that, solopreneur version of what we have to offer. And now we think we're in the position to be able to offer that properly now. Great. So main features. It's an interesting one. There's so many features that we could talk about right now. But if we were to strip it down to the ones that really make a difference in the day-to-day of teachers' lives, they would be the scheduling. So a student can sign themselves up and go and schedule classes with you. And to be able to do that, they need to have credits. And so the credit management piece is also handled by the school. To be able to buy the credits, they need a payment gateway. And so we connect a payment gateway as well to that process. So that process from start to finish can be run by the student. They can sign themselves up, schedule time in your calendar, and also pay for that as well, all in one place. Is there anything you would add there, Alex?
Just because people might not be familiar with our virtual classroom, you're going to see a lot more about that in this video. We'll try and show some of the tools. But just for the people listening in and maybe unfamiliar with our virtual classroom, this is made for language teaching. And what does that mean? So first of all, you have a multi-tab whiteboard. I'm just going to show you what that looks like. Multi-tab whiteboards, so you can switch between ideas. You can embed, for example, materials. We actually provide our own ESL materials. You're going to hear about that later on. But the idea is that this could be video, it could be audio files, all the things, again, a language teacher is going to want to use. We provide all of the annotation tools and shapes and even things like stars to be able to provide a really engaging and interactive experience. Jay, as a student in this case, it's very much a two-way street, so both sides can annotate and work on the same page. We can use things like our tools, and also all of the notes are saved on the actual page itself. So it's not like screen sharing. It's hopefully, if you're a professional teacher, you're kind of familiar with this idea that you can write notes and it's actually saved on a page in the whiteboard rather than a screen share. But we often offer screen share as well, annotations on top. So there's a lot that you could get really excited about from the functionality of the virtual classroom. But this particular talk is going to be talking more on the Online School Lite piece, which is how do we even get into a virtual classroom? So I think that's the bit I would add.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, and just to say that the LearnCube virtual classroom is included in the online school. You can teach one-to-one classes in there or classes up to 8 students in there.
Yeah.
Great. So next question is, can I use the Online School Lite to teach Chinese students? So obviously, big question at the moment is around what's happening in China since really the 26th of July. So it's almost been a full month since the first news came out. We've seen huge changes to certain companies disappearing overnight, and saying they weren't going to. Some companies that are still sticking around for a bit longer and promising to stay open indefinitely. For all the teachers I've spoken to, all this really means is uncertainty in the marketplace. And so I think not knowing if your school's going to stay open, if you can still legally teach in China, those are all question marks that we're all asking, and we're all wanting to stay on the right side of things. The important thing to note with LearnCube is it's browser based. So that means that there are, great upsides to that in terms of anyone in the world can use a VPN, regardless of which country they're in, to access a service like LearnCube Online. That being said, it's important that if there are restrictions in their country for certain, types of technology being used, that they are, they do have a VPN available to them.
And a VPN is, what does that mean? Sorry again, Jay.
It means a virtual private network.
Got it.
It's really common. So it's not just common for, sidestepping rules in certain countries or deciding to watch Netflix in America when you live in a different part of the world. It's also really common for businesses to use a VPN. So lots of companies will ask you to VPN into their country to use them.
Yeah.
It's very common practice, and we would suggest that students in China use that also. That being said, this is the perfect opportunity to look to diversify your marketplace. With the changes in China being so tumultuous. What we're looking for from our teachers is actually come and join us on some webinars where we talk about getting more students and we talk about the market as it stands in the world, because we have huge markets in that part of the world as well. You don't have to change your hours. You could teach you could teach Hong Kong, you could teach Japan, Vietnam. There's student opportunities everywhere.
Yeah.
Not to mention for the Americans, so much opportunity in Latin America as well. So this could be the chance to kind of change up your day and have some more sociable hours potentially as well.
Yeah, I was having the similar kinds of conversations, and the kinds of customer or the kinds of partner that we're looking for with LearnCube is the kind of teacher that is looking for starting their own business and finding their own freedom and their own control over their own destiny through their own business. And those kinds of teachers are probably going to want to diversify from different markets. I mean, we've already seen how being exposed with just one country, if it's China, and particularly those teachers that were really exposed by only working for sort of a gig-based kind of economy, there was very little control over what they could do. And what we want to do with, if you're interested in the LearnCube Online School Lite, you're also interested in building a business which might include adult students. It might include a niche that you know really well. Maybe you have some really great experience. Again, to reiterate what Jay said, LearnCube doesn't provide just the technology. We provide a lot of free resources, all about marketing and helping you build a better business. So that's something to keep in mind, regardless of whether you choose LearnCube, is that we provide a lot of support for entrepreneurs in education.
Exactly. Brilliant. Okay, so what payment methods are there for students to use? So we've briefly touched on the fact that there is a payment gateway, and that payment gateway connects with PayPal and with Stripe. Yeah. So either one of those you can connect up, and they're directly connected with yours. LearnCube doesn't get involved in the actual sale itself. Yeah. So all of the commission and everything is yours. Obviously, Stripe and PayPal might take a commission on top of that, but LearnCube don't.
Just on that as well, Jay. Yeah. We've got some news that may be coming about. So don't hold your fingers immediately, but we do have some extra news on that.
No, I believe it actually is this week. So we're currently in the week of the 22nd of August, and we will be adding WeChat Pay and Alipay to Stripe. So if you have those connected up to your Stripe account, they will work as well. That's a really important feature, I think, for lots of people that are still working with Chinese parents and their children or older students as well.
Great.
So, Alex, this is always the one. What are the options for content and curriculum? And I think some people approach LearnCube thinking that either we don't have any content for them, or that they can only use our content. And actually, these are both wrong. We have content, but you're not obliged to use it. We actually have two different payment setups. One is with a subscription that does include our ESL content, and one is a subscription that doesn't, where you bring your own. We Now, talking about our ESL content, we provide general English content from A1 to C2, business English from B1 to C1, and we also provide young learners, which is split into ages 4 to 8 and 8 to 11, and that ranges from A1 to A2 for the ages 4 to 8, and for the ages 8 to 11, it ranges from A1 to B2. So lots of content in there. If you are looking to have a view of that content, come and sign up on LearnCube for a free trial account, and we will expose the content to you. You can go and use it in real classes with your students before signing up.
I'll expose it as well just now so that people have a good idea of what that looks like.
Great.
So let's start off with some young learner content. So there's also, it's multimedia as well, so you're going to have videos that back up the content in this kind of format. Now with LearnCube, I think a lot of people can get used to where's the interactivity, and the interactivity actually comes from the students using our tools and our annotation tools and our shape tools and all of those sorts of our type tools, all in a way that makes the page stand out. But also it's all about that teacher connection with both of us. I know that some that are using, that have been working with young learner content, there's nothing stopping you from continuing to use your props. A lot of teachers really set up for that. But in terms of the interactivity comes through the tools in LearnCube itself. By the way, we also do have different classroom formats. So with this conversation with Jay, we might split into a more kind of person-to-person experience if I really want the student to really engage with me. Or if, for example, in this case, we want to just focus on the materials themselves and then use the tools to make either hide content or kind of get a student to kind of focus on a particular area. So there's a lot of interactivity that comes with the tools. And just to kind of give you a quick idea of what that content could look like, particularly starting with the young learner content, but again, we do have this with general English and so forth. So we have matching exercises. We have these great hearts, which again, you can kind of use or not use depending on what you wish, but you can use them as lives, you could use them as scores, you could use them as rewards. So we're providing just smart ways that you can use the content in a way that suits you best. Vocabulary, games, right and wrongs, talking about verbs and grammar. A lot of our content is also competency based. So it's really trying to get a student into for example, in this case, introducing myself. That's what they're going to achieve at the end of this particular piece of curriculum. And there's a lot that you can get into. And plus, on top of all of this, is in the LearnCube classroom, we have tools that allow a teacher to re-upload a piece of content that was, for example, done in a past class. So you've got this idea of continuity. You can use the content in any way you feel, including setting, for example, bits of homework that you might want students to do in their own time. And homework is just simply, you can choose the page that you want a student to do and send that as a piece of homework. So there's a lot of flexibility with our content, but you can create and add your own content too. I know a lot of people use Canva as a fast way of creating their own content. I know a lot of teachers have a lot of their own content already built. And you can simply either drag and drop, for example, PDFs, images, into the whiteboard itself. You can copy paste YouTube links into the whiteboard itself or upload those. When you upload something, it can be saved into a library so that you've got that instant access. I know that a lot of professional teachers used to professional virtual classrooms like LearnCube will be familiar with these tools, but they make a huge difference for those that have maybe have been using Zoom or something else where it all feels a bit kind of disconnected.
Absolutely.
On top of all this, we haven't even mentioned branding. Actually, that's one feature we didn't mention as well, Jay. So
yeah, I was just thinking about that actually, as you were talking about the content. So not only does the content appear in your school for your students as you're teaching it, it's also white labeled content. So it's got a watermark of your brand top left on all of that content.
Yeah.
And where the LearnCube logo appears in this video right now, that would be your logo as well. And even the background, which we always have as a sky, can also be changed, whatever background suits your branding as well.
Great point. So one of the other things you should be aware with our content is when you purchase a subscription, you get all of the content. So you don't just get the young learner content or the business or in this case, the general English. You get all of the content. You can use it for all of your students for the one account that you have. So that hopefully rounds up some of the options for content and curriculum, but really the world's your oyster with LearnCube when it comes to content.
Fantastic. So, without getting too negative, what happens if it's not right for a customer, I suppose, is the next question. I'm going to pose this one back to you, Alex. What can we do for people that sign up, try us, just turns out it's not the solution for them?
So one thing we want to be really clear on is that we're here to support teachers, and we want to make sure that we're building a partnership. Those are the kinds of customers that we love, are those that really feel like they've got a partnership and a strong connection with LearnCube as a brand. And we're a bit of a family. So if you don't feel that in the end the platform suits your needs, or you're so used to maybe the way things used to be that you're finding it a bit hard to kind of make that transition, there might be a bunch of reasons why you may not feel that LearnCube is right for you. Understood. So what we actually provide is a 30-day money-back guarantee, particularly on the setup. So there is a setup involved with the online school. You can imagine we need to organize branding. We need to organize the way that your school is set up. Particularly, we need to invest in helping set up the payment gateway, which is a really significant and important part for these entrepreneurial online teachers. So those are the reasons that we have to provide that setup fee. But if in that 30 days you're like, actually, this is not the right solution for me, we provide a no questions asked money back guarantee on that.
Exactly. There you go. Perfect. I think we've got one last question to cover today, which is, how much is the Online School Lite? Well, our full online school for schools comes in at $1,497. We recognise that is way too much to charge an individual teacher.
Yeah.
So we're actually doing a special rate for our Online School Lite, which is $250 setup. Now, that setup includes, as Alex just mentioned, includes training. That'll be in a group of your peers. You get to benefit from all of their questions as well. Also, the setup of the school. So there's different settings that we put in there, along with things like cancellation policies and things like that you would get to decide.
Yeah.
The branding and color scheme, the payment gateway, and then ongoing support. Obviously, we don't just wash our hands once we're done with the setup. There's often a lot of support questions, especially on the early days, while you're getting kind of upskilled on the platform.
Yeah.
Now, the ongoing fees depends on if you're using our curriculum or not. So without curriculum, if you're bringing your own with you or you've purchased it somewhere else, we're $25 per month. If you're looking to also use our ESL materials, you can add $14.90 to that, so we end up being $39.90.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to use recording as well, we do have also an add-on to be able to add recording as well if you wanted to record sessions.
And these are really special prices that we've had to come up with very quickly in order to respond to your requests for a full all-in-one solution, but for an individual teacher. So please definitely get in touch quick on these. We do have these offers, and we're going to stick by them for the teachers that sign up. But this is a unique window, hopefully, for us to start our partnership together.
Brilliant. So you can go to learncube.com and sign up for a free account on the top right of every page. Once you have signed up, you'll see there's a chat box. You can start chatting to us about your needs and set up either a meeting with one of us, Alex, or myself to see more of the platform. Or if you know this is what you want, feel free just to ask them to help you set up the school, and we'll start that process together.
And one of the great things about starting with that free trial is you get immediate access to the virtual classroom, which is going to be one of the most important kind of parts of your decision-making process. We want to make sure that's something that you go through, that you've actually tried the virtual classroom before you decide, hey, actually, I'd like the all-in-one solution, which is the Online School Lite. So definitely start with that free virtual classroom trial account. And we look forward to hopefully having you join as an Online School Lite partner very soon. Thanks again.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys.